Good afternoon, Cedar Park. It's Friday, May 1st, and I'm Ellen Neal.
And I'm Evan Vines. Seniors, congratulations to those of you who have committed to college and happy decision day. We have a great show today that we are very excited to share.
For a fresh Quarantine Wolfcast, you're going to see a story on Texas reopening, a new district decisions, State of the Sloan,
a new edition of Brody Does, a T-Wolf Spotlight with Mr. Babbage, Pet of the Week, and we have an update on graduation plans straight from Dr. Gearing himself.
Let's jump in because the Wolfcast starts now. We are now in week 7 of distance learning, and it's becoming the new normal. A lot of questions are still lingering about end-of-the-year events, though, especially for seniors.
We have a special guest joining us this morning to talk about that. We're excited to welcome Leander ISD Superintendent Dr. Gearing to the show. Gearing, how are you doing this morning?
Fantastic, Evan, and thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm doing very well. My family is all well and healthy, and we feel very blessed for that. And so we're making the best of this really challenging time.
Awesome. Great. That's awesome. That's great to hear. My family as well. We're staying safe. And so we have an exclusive interview with you this afternoon where you have a big announcement. Tell our viewers what we'll be discussing in general.
Yeah, so we're excited to be able to share some news about our graduation plans for the class of 2020. And we know this has been an extremely challenging year for the class of 2020 for our seniors. And so we will be announcing this afternoon what those graduation plans look like and how we're going to manage that over the next several months.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and make sure to tune in to our interview today at 5 p.m. on the Leander ISD Facebook page or here on CPHS News' YouTube. We'll see you then. Okay, awesome.
All right. Good job.
Great.
Thank you again, Dr. Gearing. As Texas coronavirus cases begin to slow, many are wondering what the next steps are for the reopening of businesses and public places.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced a multi-phase plan that will allow businesses to reopen at limited capacity. Reporter Victor Martinez put together some information to keep you updated.
Thanks, guys. On Monday, Governor Abbott delivered an address stating that beginning May 1st, businesses in places such as restaurants, retailers, museums, libraries, and malls will be permitted to reopen at 25% capacity, as well as allowing the continuation of outdoor sports with a 4-player maximum and allowing people who work alone in offices to return to work. In his address, Governor Abbott emphasized that although these businesses are permitted to reopen, they are not required to. He also stressed the importance of safety above all else.
Now, a core part of opening up safely is having an effective testing and tracing process, a process that can quickly identify any flare-ups in COVID-19. We have already developed a robust testing and tracing program to help identify others who may have been infected.
The testing and tracing process is among the 4 key elements that Abbott stated to be essential to a safe reopening.
Now, safely opening Texas for business requires 4 things. 1, a commitment to continue safe distancing practices that reduce the spread of COVID-19. 2, reliance on doctors and data to provide the safest strategies. 3, a focus on protecting the most vulnerable from exposure to COVID-19. And 4, a reminder that it is entrepreneurs who drive the Texas economy. They need to be unleashed to restore livelihoods while all of us remain focused on protecting the lives of our fellow Texans. We are Texans. We got this.
While these new freedoms and less confined regulations are enticing and we all miss our friends and loved ones, it's important for us to continue to social distance, wash our hands, and stay safe so that Texas can reopen in the safest way possible for everyone.
Thanks for that, Victor. Now we are going over to Giselle Muniz with another edition of District Decisions. Gigi?
Thanks. President Trump is asking the governors to seriously consider the reopening of the schools before the school year ends. Some of the governors have already said that they were not reopening schools, but were looking for some other alternatives. The Texas governor, Greg Abbott, has not yet responded to this. Leander ISD has been posting surveys to know how things are going in a student's home. Go to the Leander ISD Twitter page to find the link for the remote learning survey. And that's all I have for you guys today with CPHS News. I'm Giselle Miones. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Gigi.
Ready to hear the top 3 positive stories for today? Here's reporter Katie Smith to brighten your day. Katie.
Thanks, y'all. First up, we have a doctor who is finally home back to his family after spending a month away on the front lines of fighting coronavirus. He has 2 young children, and they were elated to see their father back home and healthy. Next up, Terry Gallagly is a therapy dog trainer who has been bringing her dogs to hospitals and nursing homes during this time to help bring a smile to people's faces. She originally started training dogs due to her daughter being born with a brain disorder. Gallagly visited over 13,000 people last year alone. Finally, the Professional Association of Driving Instructors, or PADI, is partnering with sustainable sportswear company Rasher to help create sustainable masks made out of recycled plastic pollution that has been salvaged from the ocean. The price of the masks is the same amount of money that it takes to produce them, meaning that neither company cuts a profit. Well, that's your 3 things for today. With CPHS News, I'm Katie Smith. Back to you guys.
Thanks for the good news, Katie. Coming up next is a new edition of Brody Does and your Pet of the Week. All of this after a word from our sponsor.
Smoky Moe's Barbecue, the best barbecue that money can buy. Proudly supporting Cedar Park High School.
Hello, Cedar Park High School. I'm Abby Martinez, and welcome back to the TiVo Spotlight. I'm joined by science teacher Adam Babbage. So, Mr. Babbage, how has online school learning been as a teacher so far?
You know, it's neat because one good thing about teaching is it's good once you get into a routine, but it's also bad when you get into a routine. When you do the same things over and over and over, you don't change your craft, if you will. So having to figure out how to instruct and engage in an entirely new way without really having any practice on doing it is a neat experience. I know there's a lot of stress involved. There's stress involved for you guys. There's stress involved for us. But I try to look on the positive side. So I think it's a pretty cool experience to try to figure out exactly how to do this if we ever need to do it again.
Mm-hmm. What's one of the biggest issues you've run into so far?
Technology. You know, whether it's at my house with, 50 million devices connected to one router, which students probably deal with as well. Internet going in and out, whether, this video worked on my computer or this website requires me to download this and I can't. I'd say technology. For the most part, pretty much all the students have been communicating through email, through Google Classroom, and submitting the work.
Are there any positives that you've seen come out of this school-wise?
I'd say, yeah. I'd say, we teach you guys, what to learn. We try to teach you life skills, but this is a pretty big life skill. Like, what do you do when the whole country pauses for a minute and you have to figure out how to survive? So I think this is good practice for life. It's cool because the students are still able to communicate with us, but one of the benefits is, what do I do in a situation where I have zero control over something? How can I regain areas of control to maintain some level of normalcy? So it's a cool experience to go through, but we're all still connected because we're still teachers and students.
And lastly, how does it feel to be the Teacher Madness winner for 2020?
It feels really good. Last year I came really, really close and lost it. So when I saw that I was going up against Sloan, I was like, all right, this is going to be a challenge. So what I did was I was like, what do I do? I need to help make this Instagram video a success. So of course I went for my dog, Broadway, to kind of use him to bolster the votes, and I think it kind of helped. So I'm very honored. It's a great honor, and once we head back to school, I will be getting my hands on that trophy.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Babbage.
Now, a special episode of Brody Does. Take it away, Brody.
Brody does, oh yeah!
What's up, all my cool little cherry raspberries? Okay, and today we're going to be doing something really cool. So I've been seeing a lot of people around here wearing like masks, and I don't really know why. But what I do know is that you kids like to stay up with the trends, and I like to stay up with the trends too. Now, I tried looking around online for some masks, but I couldn't find any masks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to make your own mask if you want to be cool and walk around wearing masks with everyone else. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use this bandana. I got it from that Mohawk, that venue in Austin. But you can use any cloth you want, really, as long as it's kind of square. And then I'm also going to be using these 2 hair ties because I'm really pretty. But if you're not as pretty as me, you can use like rubber bands if you want. And so, okay, making a mask is actually really easy. What you want to do is you want to take the bandana and you want to fold it. And then you just want to make sure it can like cover your mouth and your nose. So I've only done this like once, but I think it works pretty well. So for me, it only takes like 3 folds, and then it can kind of cover your whole face pretty good. So then you take one of your circular objects and you put it around one end of the bandana like that. And then you take your other circular object and you put it around the other bandana like that, the other end of the bandana. And then from there, you just want to take one end of bandana and put it inside the other end of bandana. And you kind of have to like squeeze it in there a little bit, like really just shove it in there. But what's important is that you make the 2 ends of the bandana one bandana, you know, like basically the same bandana. And you can even take the other part of the bandana and put it inside that, like that. And then you take your 2 circular objects and you use them like the ear straps on the mask that everyone else wears. And then, oh no, hang on. This works, I promise it works. Oh, crap. No, hang on, it takes a little bit of maneuvering, but... Woo! Mm-hmm. And just like that, you have your very own mask.
Thanks, Brody. And now it's time for your Pet of the Week. This time, we're having a very special edition of Pet of the Week, featuring multiple pets of students from math teacher Miss Pangalinen's class. Take a listen to this heartwarming story on how she tried to connect her students just a bit more this quarantine. When Cedar Park was still open, Miss Pangolinen loved getting to know her students and having conversations with them. However, with digital learning, these interactions sadly became harder to achieve. Miss Pangolinen then had the great idea to send out a reminder asking her students to pose their pets as if they were studying. Her experiment even inspired other teachers to do the same. Special thanks to Miss Pangolinen for helping us have a good laugh during these questionable times. That's all we have for you this week.
Don't forget, you can catch anything you missed on today's show on our YouTube channel. Just search CPHS News.
Thank you for tuning in today and sticking with us. We know these are difficult times. With CPHS News, I'm Ellen Neal.
And I'm Evan Vines. Remember to make it a great day, or not, the choice is yours. Have a phenomenal day, Cedar Park. See you next Friday.